This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we are going to be talking about my top 10 fantasy / RPG games of all time. This list has changed a lot. A lot of my lists have changed over the last 6 months. It's really been a great year. Now, these are not dungeon delves. We did a video about dungeon delves where it's strictly in the dungeon. These are just kind of open world type of things in role-playing games that I really enjoy. And I've got a bunch of honorable mentions here I want to make sure that I put at the end. It was tough to try to get them on the list, but I'll be honest with you, this was a tough list to do. At number 10, and we start right there, is the king of all RPGs. And I put these two together on this list because I wanted them both to make the list, but I consider them on the list because they're really hard to solo, and it's hard to play with just two people, and it should be higher, but I just don't have the chance to play it, so it doesn't fit for my list. And that's Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. These are two great, fantastic systems, historical, the very soul of all role-playing, and the very foundation of it all. And just fantastic games, and they needed to be mentioned on this list. But for me, there were just things that as far as box set games and stuff like that, and that's what I'm really trying to do here, is my fantasy / RPG box set type of games. But I wanted to put these in here because they deserve to be on this list. So at number 10, Dungeons and Dragons Pathfinder. At number 9 is a small little box game that just does so much, and it's just so much fun, and it's Set a Watch. I mean, what can you say about this? You're sitting around the campfire, you set a watch, you're getting raided and beat on, and you're trying to fend these guys off, get money, get powerful, get the next guy to keep a watch, and have your party survive. And it's just absolutely a hoot. It's fantastic. It's a great fantasy game, and a lot of fun by yourself. You really have a tremendous experience. And number 8 is a game that I've played. It's probably one of the most beautiful games you'll ever see. The expansions have always given you so much for it. There is a pattern to it, and it never gets old to me. I really love this game, and that's Legends of Andor. A tremendous, fantastic experience. You're covering this great land, trying to solve and defeat all kinds of foes to get to your all-being objective. And I'll tell you what, it is a challenge. It is fun. It is beautiful. It is a great fantasy game. If you don't have it, pick it up. It's a great family game, and just one that really will fit you, and you'll find that you'll really like it. I'm telling you, it's an older game, but it's something that is still within reach, and I really highly suggest it for a lot of people that may not have tried it. And number 7, some people want to consider this in the dungeon category, but I don't, because of the role-playing experience that you have with this, and that's Kingdom Death Monster, which isn't for everybody, okay? And especially with all the current problems that it seems to be having, I still love this game. I love what it does. I love how it speaks about how and what humanity is. Kingdom Death Monster is something special from a very brilliant mad scientist type of guy. Who created a fantastic and great experience. At number 7, Kingdom Death Monster. At number 6 is Madara, the Japanese role-playing type of game. This can be considered type of role-play of a dungeon crawl, but it really isn't, because there's a lot of outside combat. There's a lot that goes on in this game, and this game is huge, and it would take you years to finish it. But I will tell you, it is something really, truly fantastic, glorious, and special. And I think, I think it's something. I think it's a must-have. The miniatures are beautiful. The story is beautiful. How it plays out, how you discover things, the replayability. I can't wait for Acts 2 and Acts 3. This is just one of those fantastic, fantastic games. I've painted this thing numerous times. It's just a game I never get tired of. Madara at number 6. At number 5 is a game that I consider one of the most underrated fantasy games of all time, and that is Folklore. There's just not enough of this. They've done things. I feel the company had dropped the ball with this game, but it still, for what came out for it, it is still an all-time great fantasy RPG slash a horror in there. This game is fantastic. What a ride, going across the country, making decisions. I've played it live with Julie and Robert and Jeremy. We were doing live shows of it, testing out things. We had a great time with this. One of my favorite people, bunch of people, and one of the great experiences I've ever had is playing that game, Folklore, The Affliction. It's a must-have for anybody in their collection. At number 4, how could we have a list about fantasy RPG and not have something from Lord of the Rings on there? And Journey to Middle Earth. Let's give credit where credit is due. Fantasy Flight has done a lot of things wrong lately, but one of the things that they've done right is this game. This game is fun. It's a great adventure with a great story. It's something that you have to have. I really highly suggest it. The miniatures are beautiful. The story unfolds beautifully. A great and smart use of an app, which it really does a lot of good things for the game. Helps you out a bit, and it really focuses in on this beautiful, beautiful story, and with beautiful, beautiful mechanics. And number 4, Lord of the Rings: Journey into the Middle Earth. Number 3 is a game that, I've tried to get a hold of this designer at times, but I think he's going on the 4th edition of this, the 4th different type of game. And Hex Explorer, is a tremendous game. There's different periods. They have like a desert or Egyptian theme to it. There's a fantasy theme to it. There are different expansions for it. But each one is fantastic as you're going through and experiencing and role-playing this fantastic experience, trying to stop a great evil. And it does so many things right. I just really think it's one of those games that you have to take a look at. There are videos out there. I've done videos. Liz has done videos, which she is fantastic at. Definitely a game that you are definitely going to want to check out. But Hex Explorer is just absolutely glorious and a must-have in the fantasy/RPG section here. At number 2, I'm going to go with Mage Knight. Mage Knight, I used to love playing with the figures back in the day. We used to have all the different armies and stuff like that. And then when they made it a board game, I was kind of like, oh boy, this isn't going to be good. But boy, is this game fantastic. It's a deck building, adventure, fantasy, RPG. It just does so many things that are just fantastic. It never plays the same. It is just an all-time great game, a must-have, a must-have, and I highly suggest it. I've said that a lot here, but all 10 of these, I believe, are a must-have. These games are something special. This game is something special. The Ultimate Edition box set is a steal and does a lot. The miniatures are pre-painted. Everything is just ready to go. The tokens are beautiful. The art's beautiful. How the game unfolds, nothing is ever the same. The replayability is off the charts. Mage Knight is probably one of the greatest fantasy RPGs out there, at least in my mind. But at number one, there can only be one. There can only be one. And this year, this game, I've been waiting for this game for years. It has come out and it has blown me away. And that is none other than Oatsworn, Into the Deep Woods. I can't wait to see what these two guys come up with next. This is probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. The experience that we've had from going in town and going all the way through other places, it's absolutely just a great game, and one that is just unlike any other. Some people can consider it a boss fight type of game. I can see that, but for me, when you're going in, doing different things, nothing's the same. How you go about things, it just does everything right. It's fantastic. It's glorious. It tells a beautiful story. You're leveling up. You're fighting different types of bosses. You're going into towns and unfolding a mysterious story that just takes so many twists and swerves and things. It does everything that you can ever want a fantasy RPG to do, and it does it better than anything else out there. Now, that's my number one game. We have some real great runners up. It was kind of hard to put some of these on the list. I wanted to put Cloudspire on here, but I felt that was more of an MMO type of game, but it's fantastic. All the chip theory stuff, Too Many Bones, a great adventure, but I feel that's something a little bit different. It's more of, but it's a great game. I had to mention that. City of Kings is another great game. Bard's Song I'm trying to get into, but I'm finding that it's fallen a little short. Glooms of Kilforth, Veil Wrath, I wanted Talisman, one of my all-time games for my family at least. I wanted to mention all these because these are all great fantasy games, honorable mentions that deserve to be on this list, but I can only pick 10, and these were the 10 I picked. So I hope you enjoy the list, and until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.